This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I am Samia Mohammed with the latest. First, our top stories for today. African Union Commission and European Union launch space partnership program. Tourism in 5 East African countries is booming. Economic Commission of Africa calls for restoration of Africa's fiscal sovereignty. Now, the news in detail. During ministerial council at the Royal Palace in Rabat, chaired by King Mohammed IV, the Moroccan government approved 11 major international conventions. These agreements are said to exponentially expand Morocco's global partnership across 3 continents and reinforce its diplomatic standing. The newly ratified conventions include 8 agreements with African nations, 2 with Asian partners, and 1 with European countries. This comprehensive agreement covers multiple sectors, including judicial and customs cooperation, higher education and scientific research collaboration, as well as transportation, logistics, and energy infrastructure development. 5 East African countries joined Morocco, Algeria, and South Africa as the continent's leading tourist destinations. Morocco, South Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, and Algeria lead Africa's tourism surge with unmatched attraction and growing global appeal, according to Travel and Tour World. Countries at the forefront of Africa's tourism revolution are driving a remarkable surge in visitors to the continent. In addition to offering unique cultural experiences, these countries are investing heavily in infrastructure and global marketing strategies that make them more accessible than ever before. These destinations are drawing attention due to their rich histories, diverse landscapes, and the growing number of world-class events and services they offer. The African Union Commission and the European Union have officially launched the Africa-EU Space Partnership Program during the New Space Conference in Cairo, Egypt. The Space Partnership Program is a 4-year program running up to 2028, aiming to enhance the strategic EU-Africa partnership in space through dedicated flagship within the Global Gateway Africa-Europe Investment Package, which identifies space technology as a part of its priority on digitalization with specific high potential in Africa. The launch of the Space Partnership Program was presided over by dignitaries from the various institutions. The launch also featured panel discussion session on the objectives, outputs, expected impact, and the roles of different implementing partners of the program. Finland's President Alexander Stubbs is on a 3-day state visit to Kenya, the first ever by Finnish head of state of the African country. On Monday, Kenya and Finland signed 2 agreements on political consultations, peace mediation, and conflict resolution. Speaking during a news conference after the bilateral talk, Stubbs and his Kenyan counterpart, President William Ruto, reaffirmed their joint commitment to the implementation of the Kenya-European Union Economic Partnership Agreement, which came into force in July 2024. In other news, Donald Trump has said he's thinking of going to Turkey on Thursday for potential peace talks between Ukraine and Russia's leaders. The US president, who previously claimed he could end the conflict in a day, has pushed for both sides to meet to bring the fighting to an end. On Sunday, Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky called out Vladimir Putin to meet him on Thursday in Istanbul, but the Kremlin leader has yet to respond. Speaking late on Monday, Mr. Trump said, "I was thinking about flying over. I don't know where I'm going to be on Thursday." Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his ministers have been sworn in after the Labour Party won a second term in power at the federal election. Albanese, his cabinet, outer minister and assistant ministers were officially sworn to their roles by Governor-General Sam Mostyn, the representative of British monarchy in Australia, at a ceremony at Government House in Canberra on Thursday morning. During the ceremony, the 40 members of the ministry took on oaths of office, declaring they will well and truly serve the Commonwealth of Australia in their respective offices. Announcing the list of ministers on Monday, Albanese said that it was the largest Labour caucus, referring to the number of the party's politicians elected to the federal parliament in history following the landslide result at May's 3 election.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Moving on to business news. The World Bank has said that Nigeria's economy recorded its fastest growth in about a decade in 2024, driven by a strong fourth quarter and an improved fiscal position. During a presentation on Monday, the bank's lead economist for Nigeria, Alex Zainart, said Nigeria's economy grew by 4.6% year-on-year in the fourth quarter of 2024. Quoting a high-frequency business indicators, he said the economy continued to expand in early 2025. He, however, warned that persistently high inflation remains a challenge. The development comes after bold economic reforms by President Bola Tinubu's administration, such as the removal of petrol subsidies, slashing electricity allowances, and devaluation of the Naira currency, have added to upward pressure on prices. Finally, the first African Union Debt Conference is taking place in Lomé under the theme Africa's Public Debt Management Agenda, Restoring and Safeguarding Debt Sustainability. Speaking on the occasion, the Executive Secretary of the Economic Commission for Africa, Clever Gatete, called for urgent reforms to restore fiscal sovereignty and prioritize human capital over unsustainable repayments. Africa is not just facing a debt crisis, it's facing a development crisis, he said. Debt is not inherently bad. What matters is its used for, Gatete noted, as he urged government to stop borrowing to consume and start borrowing to transformation. Outline 5 actions: reform debt, increase transparency, reform global finance, expand green finance, and mobilize domestic resources. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.